and I appreciate that. Thank you for what you've done for hip hop in the community. You are at Queens Public Library educating and reaching out to people. Your work with children's books, you manage a nonprofit video music box collection, and you are digitizing more than 20,000 hours of music videos. I have no idea what that actually means, but it sounds tedious. You right, you are an archivist, and you're preserving 40 years or more of history. And oh yeah, you are collaborating with many museums and artists along the way. I'm wondering when you sleep, but because I think we have a little bit in common, we don't sleep. So now that's how we roll. Ralph, you're a pioneer and historian, a true change agent. Ralph brought hip hop to the world when he founded Video Music Box, which became the longest running music video show in the world. Video Music Box helped launch the careers of Jay-Z, Nas, Biggie, Diddy, and Tupac. When Ralph launched Video Music Box, he said, "I knew a lot of our history, especially black music, had been discarded and thrown away." But Ralph said no, that wasn't going to happen, and he made sure that it didn't happen. Ralph, thank you. Thank you for being true to the inspiration example. We are honored to present you with this award in recognition. And everything that you have done, I want you to know that you are an incredible leader, credible historian. You are always part of the York family. Thank you again to Don and Pat. Thank you again to all the partners and the sponsors. Thank you again to my beautiful students, because it's all about you. Now, I want you to keep eating and drinking and mingling, family. But right now, we're going to put our hands together and recognize our honoree for tonight. So Dennis Walcott of the left, come on. So you know this story is funny because the world is very small. How many years?
Since we met.
A long time. A long time. And always dedicated to community. So thank you.
Thank you very much. So thank you for the opportunity to say hello, but more importantly, to show respect to a man who is just outstanding. And if I may, the Queens Public Library family who's here, we got the family, Earl, Andrew, can you all come on up? No. Come on up. Come on, hurry up. I only got a couple minutes. So, yep, Stacy, where's Stacy? Precious? There you go. Here we go. So, this is our Queens Public Library family. And I just want to say one thing. I'm not going to tell my story I always enjoy. But when Ralph talked, we listened, plain and simple. And it's all about the respect for Ralph. Ralph, in addition to everything that was talked about, Ralph is out at all of our libraries on a regular basis, doing programs, talking to our youth, talking to our seniors. Ralph has his video music box, but more than that, Ralph is just a presence for all of us. And Ralph, we respect you, we appreciate you, we love you, we think the world of you, and Ralph is just a great human being. And my final words around Ralph is, as indicated, Ralph is humble, but I learned a side of Ralph that I really hadn't seen before. It was about 2 or 3 months ago, and we were talking about something, and I could just see his eyes get all narrow. And that competitive side of Ralph started to kick into gear. And I said, damn, I haven't seen that side of Ralph. And Ralph was like getting into that competitive discussion around the issue we were talking about, and I love that side of Ralph as well. Ralph, we think the world of you, we love you, and we thank you for that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, good. Thank you,
Queens Library, for all the people out of here. Camille, thank you for connecting us on this right here. It was a 5K, I don't know, a month ago?
End of August.
August? And that's when we started talking about this. So I wanted to just kind of go back a little bit, you know, like I've been doing the video music box thing for 40 years, but before that I was a DJ, and I was a DJ out here in the parks and in clubs, and there was this place called Encore, which is now Queens Public Library's children's library, and we built that, and then I started moving out and going and doing parties in New York, and I mean in the city and all different places around the world. So this hip hop thing is taking me everywhere, anywhere you can imagine. I've probably been, and I realized that how powerful it was, you know, when I started going to other countries and seeing that folks didn't even know the language, but they understood the vibe and the energy of the youth and the drum. And it all goes back to the drum. And I was talking to somebody the other day, and you know, this year especially, we saw a lot of how hip hop has become very corporate. You know, everybody had a hip hop program. I did a hip hop program at Bloomberg. You know, I did a hip hop program at Coca-Cola. I did, you know, all of these different places had a budget for hip hop, you know, which was cool, but you know, you want them to really understand the culture, and sometimes they don't get it. It's okay, you know, this is just what happens when it becomes popular. And hip hop is super popular right now. But it all goes back to, you know, those dance classes and going into the center in Rochdale and right here on Guy Brewer and in Queens Village, and hearing those drums and going to karate school and doing all these things that my parents took me to do as a young man coming up, and playing basketball and everything that went along with that, and you know, just walking up and down the street, Jamaica Avenue, doing all the things that we did as young men and trying to stay out of trouble. And then the hip hop came along, and the 2 turntables kept me in my basement for hours and hours and hours and hours. So there were plenty of my friends that didn't make it, you know, plenty of people that didn't make it along the way. You know, came up in a tough time in the 70s. I thought it was fine, the 70s and the 80s, but it was tough. It was tough. And, but we got through it. And so here we are celebrating 50 years of hip hop. I would have never thought that. You know, I think about some of the films that I've done. The first film that I did was Juice with Tupac. And, you know, Tupac was an amazing person. I understood him. You know, he was like, he could have grew up in South Jamaica, Queens. He could have went to York College. He was that kind of kid, and, you know, amazing artist. And the last film I did with Nas was my documentary, You're Watching Video Music Box, which is on Showtime right now. And Nas is a kid that I met in Queensbridge in the 90s. I did his first video. He was super excited to meet me because he watched me on TV forever, and now he's one of the greatest hip hop artists of all time. And Wu-Tang Clan, you know, I did Cream. I directed the video, music video Cream for the Wu-Tang Clan. And I said, okay, y'all gotta come out of Staten Island, the rest of the world wants to see y'all. And so, you know, RZA was like, okay, all right, let's do it. And we started doing events with them. And all of these little things. I did a video with Chip Fu, with Shaq. With Shaq Fu, we called him for that. Look it up. Shaq Fu was part of the Fu Snickens, and they did an album. And that was an amazing project, and I think that really helped Shaq a lot, more than it helped the Chip and them. Gave him street cred. And so, you know, so these are the kind of things that we do along the way, and I think that's what Dennis was saying, that, you know, the relationships, and that's what I've heard throughout this whole thing. And this, when I walked in here, you know, sometimes you walk into an event and you're like, okay, you know, you feel a little bit uncomfortable. This feels like family, and it's not like I know everybody, but everybody is family in here. So thank y'all for being here and being part of this, and thank you, Queens Library, for giving me the ability to push some ideas forward. Because now, you know, libraries from across the country, we did a program called Collections of Culture over the summer, and 40 different partners from around the country joined in with us as the lead, Queens Library, and they're doing all of these programs in Miami, in Compton, in San Francisco, in Atlanta, in Philadelphia, you know, Brooklyn even got a program going from based upon what we thought we started doing. I'm sorry. And so,
Behave, Ralph. Behave.
that's what you said. But yeah, so this is what we do, and I'm just happy that we can be part of what's going on at York College. The first big program that I did when I came to Queens Public Library was I brought Damon John from Shark Tank, who's from Hollis, and we came here and we did that program here. We partnered with York College, so we've always had a partnership with York College in some way. If I was with Queens Library, or if I was just a kid, you know, growing up, and they were going, we having a party at York College, and so we did things here. So thank York College for, you know, leaving the doors open for us to express ourselves, because hip hop didn't always have a place. It wasn't always played on the radio. It wasn't always played on TV. It wasn't always in Yankee Stadium this past summer. You know, so here we have it. It starts right here in community and it spreads around the world. I want to big up DJ Divine, my man Divine, who's in here. He's one of the originals from Jamaica, Queens. We got a hot party coming up at Rochdale Village. I know what's going on, bro. Celebrating 50 years of hip hop, but he was there. He was in the trenches. He was there, and all the others that are here in the room. You know, thank you for being here. Thank you to all of the scholars. Thank you to the archivists. Thank you to the students, the future Ralph McDaniels or whoever it may be. You know, look, you know, that hip hop program that the brother was talking about, like, I like that. You know, we want to encourage that. We also want to encourage that we make sure that we keep our history intact, and that somebody else isn't telling our story, that we tell the narrative and we get it right. And I've learned from elders in this room, you know, stuff that I didn't know, so don't be afraid to ask questions, because that's why we're here now. And good luck to y'all, man. So that's what this is all about. Thank y'all for being here.
He thanked us.
Yes, you
He
are good.
thanked
Please
you.
continue to
He
mingle,
thanked me.
enjoy
He
the
thanked us
food and
all.
the beverages. Oh, I think they want me to do something else. I'm so sorry.